In this episode, we will discuss what type of water is safe and good for our beloved budgies, and which type of water shouldn't be served. We will discuss how often drinking water should be available for our birds to drink, and at what temperature. How often should we change their water, and what is the proper way of serving it? All that is coming up. There are so many different types of water we can serve to our parakeets. Tap water, distilled water, spring water, bottled water, enhanced water, designer water, and carbonated water. But before we discuss each of our available options, let's see how often we should serve our birds with water. Well, water is essential, as you might already know, for all living things. While you might not catch your birds drinking, and they do drink fast and a very little amount, but water still should be available 24/7. No matter how hot or cold the weather is. While you can skip the bath during the winter, but you can never skip drinking water. Their body is made up to 75% of water, so make sure they have water all the time. No matter how hot or cold the weather is. As for the water's temperature, the ideal range, I would say, is from 50 to 60 Fahrenheit, 10 to 15 Celsius, as it is the most comfortable drinking water consumption temperature by mature birds. While the water can go up to 77 degrees Fahrenheit, 25 degrees Celsius, but try to keep it in the comfortable range we've talked about. As for how often the water should be changed, I would say at least once a day, and that's because water can easily get contaminated and be home for a lot of bacteria. Plus, if you have more than one bird and they all drink from the same water, the longer the water stays, the easier diseases can spread between your birds. Now let's see how to serve the water. You can go with anything from a deep plate on the cage's floor to any bowl-shaped item. But the best way to serve water for your birds to drink is the bottles made for birds. You see, this way, they have really narrow opening to drink from, so it is harder for it to get dirty, or your birds to poop in it. And the bigger the opening is, the dirtier it will become. Actually, to the point where your birds will start to bathe in it. And obviously, bathing in the drinking water will make it dirty really fast. And I recommend everyone to have more than one water dispenser for your birds in the cage. In case one malfunctioned or got broken for any reason, you will have a spare. I will keep links in the description for birds' bottles, go check them out. And finally, and what probably you're here for, is what type of water is safe for birds and what type is dangerous. Starting with tap water. Usually, if it's safe for humans to drink, it is safe for birds. However, that's not always the case, because tap water has chlorine and other chemicals added to it in order to kill germs. While what's considered safe for humans might not be safe for birds because they have much smaller body than we do. But if chlorine is the problem, you can keep the water outside of the cage for some time, so that chlorine gets evaporated. However, there are other chemicals that could be dissolved in the water, and they don't get evaporated. So if you are not sure it's safe for birds, you can ask your avian vet to check it for you if it's safe for birds. And you can ask someone who has birds for years in your neighborhood if the tap water is safe use for the birds. Another thing that helps are these filters that can be attached to the faucet or a water filtration system. They include carbon block filters, ultraviolet light, and more to purify and clean the water. I'll keep links in the description for such filters, so you can check it out for yourself. Distilled water, meaning pure water, no minerals or any chemicals added to it, pure H2O. It is when you boil water, collect the vapor and condense it. You get pure water. While it might sound good, but actually it is not. And the reason is not only because in nature all water has minerals in it, and this is what our bodies are supposed to consume, but distilled water has zero minerals in it, which means the body will start to secrete minerals out of itself to compensate for the mineral deficiency. It could actually harm more than it helps if it is used on regular basis. Spring water. If it is well regulated, it might be the best choice you have because it is full of minerals, but if it is not regulated, then you need to be cautious about it. Bottled water. It's purified for us to consume and they add minerals to it as well, so it should be safe for birds as well. However, there are a lot of brands out there, so you can always ask an expert about a specific brand if it's safe to use for birds. Enhanced water. It is usually purified with added vitamins, fructose glucose syrup with added minerals. So it does contain some calories and tastes sweet because of the sugar added to it, which means your budgies will like it. But I wouldn't recommend you using it on a regular basis. Rather, you can use it as a treat, and if you have a good balanced diet for your budgies, you don't need to use it at all. And since we are on the subject, let's talk about the designer water, which is some type of bottled water with fruit flavor added to it. Most of them contain 0 calories, which means it is a non-nutritive sweetener. It is supposed to not harm your budgies and they will like it. However, I don't see why you need to provide your budgies with such water. Give them other treats like fruits once a week or so, and I would keep the drinking water a normal water to not let them get used to flavored one. And finally, the carbonated water. It is usually not palatable to birds. While it is not harmful to birds, but it is still not suitable for a daily water source consumption by your birds. Have a healthy drinking water. Have a healthy and happy budgie. For more about budgies, make sure to subscribe to the channel if you are watching this video from YouTube and hit the bell icon to get notified when the next video is up. Or like the Facebook page if you are watching this video from Facebook.